What's good, everybody? This is Ace of All Trades here with the gaming Illuminaughty, and we are back with a Triple Threat Sports podcast. This time we are doing it live, so shout out to everybody in the Twitch chat. And to the sports world, we have a lot of things going on. But before we get into the news, let me introduce you guys to my co-host to the left. Say what up, Sticky Guns.
What up, what up?
True. And the other co-host say congratulations to UTX I am partner, the Don. Say what up, JG.
What's up, the UTX full-time the Don. About to be on all the GI videos. You ain't gonna see me not on the video now. Wait.
Right.
How many you dropping a day now?
Oh no.
I don't know, man. I don't know how many of I want to.
There you go.
Y'all gonna be mad. You're gonna be having JG on the. Oh man, why is that guy JG on all the videos? God, can we get somebody else?
Now it's gonna be me instead of TBH on all the videos.
Right.
The face of the franchise.
Right. The true most famous member of the game Illuminaughty, UTX JG the Don. Just let everybody know it. And everybody
reclaimed his Hollywood status.
Right. He back Hollywood. UTX travel the Don. UTX I'm the most famous member of the Don. All of that. But enough about JG for right now. Let's just get into it. I mean, this single topic alone can be talked about for hours. The comedy in Cheif.
It's still going on.
I don't know what else this man can say that's just gonna piss off other people. And I don't like to talk about a lot of serious things when I don't need to, especially with you guys, the listeners. I know you guys just like to hear more positive things, but we gotta talk about it. Trump goes in on the NFL and in the NBA. His first tweet, and I will go off exactly for what he said. And this comes after Steph Curry saying that he didn't want to go visit the White House because, you know, the Golden State Warriors won the NBA championship, and is accustomed that most championship teams will go and visit the White House. But Steph Curry said personally he doesn't want to go, and obviously they're going to discuss it as a team, but you know, it's already been known that Steph Curry and Steve Kerr don't really like Trump, and they've spoken about this personally, and they also spoke about it as a team. So that actually, you know, our president, unfortunately, to go with Twitter fingers, and I quote, he says, "Going to the White House is considered a great honor for a championship team. Stephen Curry is hesitating, therefore invitation is withdrawn." And personally, I think that's stupid. Like, you sound like an ex-girlfriend that got broken up with, but even after you got dumped, you're like, no, I don't want to be with you anyway. So, JG, you go first. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think?
Can we make it a law that our president cannot tweet or be on Twitter or any social media? It's getting really, really ridiculous how every time somebody has something to say, even if it doesn't have anything to do with him directly, this man goes off on Twitter about it. Like, I really want to know if he's sitting there with his phone in hand or on his computer tweeting these things, because this is really ridiculous now. Like, at first I thought it was a joke when he wasn't the president. I was like, okay, it's kind of understandable because you're this reality star, but you're the president of the United States. Has anyone in his camp ever told this man, like, maybe you shouldn't tweet that? Like,
I'm pretty sure they have.
There's somebody.
Can you stop him though? Can you stop him? You need to do it. Like, take the man off of Twitter, please. It's not a good look. And like, if he really is making somebody another country mad off of Twitter, like, that's going to be ridiculous. And we know going to war off of Twitter fingers, like, just
well, that's almost what happened. North Korea said that that the U.S. declared war because of one of his tweets, I think, or some statement.
It was a tweet, and it also is what he said when he was in the congregation at the UN, and basically this man threatened North Korea and said if they keep talking,
let's before we get into that part, the threatened part, you got to remember that North Korea's been threatening us for decades.
I mean that's true. That's true, but that's just another thing that's going on. But we're gonna try to keep it sports related.
Let me take it back though.
Yeah, take it back a little bit.
Regarding a specific situation, I personally would not want to visit somebody who I don't like. I understand that traditionally it is an honor and a privilege to go to the White House. Yes, I understand. But they went before. Let's keep in mind, they went before, and they went with somebody who they actually like, Barack Obama. If you don't like Trump, you have the right to not go, and you have the right to voice your opinions about not going.
And it happened. It's been happening, and that's been happening for a long time. People didn't go visit Bush. People didn't go visit Obama. Probably the most famous one was Brady.
Yeah,
and vice versa whenever Bush was in office. So it's always been happening. So I don't know why Trump made it a big deal.
Right, but again, it's amplified because Trump is who he is, and Twitter fingers, and he just wants to tell everybody off, and he wants to clap back at every single person who has something to say about him. So that's why it has been amplified to the point that it is now that we're talking about it. But again, it's their prerogative. If that's what they want to do. If they don't want to go see you, so be it. They still won the championship. It doesn't finalize anything just because they went to the White House. So just leave it alone, Trump. If people don't like you, they don't like you. And apparently somebody said that, which is like pretty much the most obvious thing I've ever heard. It was like, Trump likes people who like him and he hates people that hate him. I was like, what? Okay, that's like general like human feelings. I think that a lot of people are not going to like somebody who doesn't like them. I understand that some people, try to ask why you don't like me, but that's life, bro. Like this is how it works. So this isn't something special that Trump is doing as far as his feelings, but it is what it is, man. Nobody likes Trump. It's a lot of people that don't like him, and
millions of people don't like him.
Just forget it, man. It doesn't matter. Let the Warriors not come, and let a team that actually wants to see you and may like your views, they can come see you all they want.
Right.
That's it.
It just really seems like a situation where Trump,
the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Penguins.
Right, exactly. It's basically like Trump is like, oh, I need to have every single thing, everybody come to see me in the White House, and if there's something that's gonna happen to me where I'm not gonna be, a team doesn't want to come see me, I'm gonna rescind the offer, so it doesn't make it seem like they just didn't want to see me because they didn't want to see me. And it's like, bro, they don't want to see you. They don't want to visit you particular. They know that
it's like firing somebody after they say that they quit already.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And it's
well, here's the thing. Trump needs to, like, I agree with JG, obviously. He needs to get off Twitter because it's just going to, it's getting
bad
ridiculous.
for business. It's bad for business.
Yeah, it's just a bad look. It's just a bad look. And then we've talked about this privately, but I guess it's just, we're just going to have to get used to the fact that this is the social era, social media era. And, because a lot of people were mad that Obama was always going on late shows,
yeah, exactly. He was going on talk shows. He was on
shows and stuff like that. He was on TV a lot, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, the president shouldn't be doing that." But now you got a president that, since he's not invited to any of the talk shows anymore. So
exactly.
He goes on Twitter instead. But I guess it's just turning into that. And then if we look down the road for future presidents, let's say if it is The Rock or whatever, he's going to be using social media too.
Look, I'm okay, but here's the thing though, like I have no problem with a president or anything like that using social media to be able to do something positive. I understand that this is the social media age. If you're not on social media now, you're gonna fall behind. A lot of people use social media, unfortunately, to get their news. So if you can use social media in a positive way, I have no problem with that. It's when you get Twitter fingers and you are telling off another country, not from the president's Twitter account. You're telling countries off from your own personal Twitter account. That looks horrible. First of all, Trump needs to not have his personal Twitter account, and the presidential
maybe
Twitter
that'd be a good thing right there. Maybe they could make a law that says if you're gonna be using Twitter, you have to do it from the presidential account, because then he's not gonna be able to say a lot of the stuff he wants to say through that account.
Exactly. And just to keep it sports related, speaking of fired, we'll talk about everything else with the NBA and all that a little bit later. But speaking of fired, this man Trump, oh my God, we're talking about him again. He basically called everybody that's kneeling a son of a bitch and said they should deserve to be fired. Yeah,
this started the flames. I mean, he literally poured, forget gasoline, napalm or jet fuel on something that wasn't that. It was like it was starting to sputter a little bit, and then he just he made the wildfires happen.
This is all bad. Like, first of all, like, it shouldn't have took this for the NFL to unite, to come together. But that's another topic we'll discuss. But I will say that this is ridiculous. You do not you attack the NFL. the one thing, and I've heard Shannon Sharp say it, I've heard everybody on First Take say it, I've heard everybody on ESPN say it. That's one thing that you do not do. You do not attack the NFL. And if you guys,
well, forget attacking the NFL. He's attacking America. If his message is make America great again, you can't be attacking Americans, pretty much, and that's what he essentially did.
Right.
So he's completely out of line. He needs to, and then we always talk about, a lot of people in general, when it comes to sports, we always say, leave politics out of sports. Well, he wound up bringing politics into sports in a way that now it's not going to be undone for a long time, because now the discussion's always going to be about this every Sunday in the NFL, and then when the NBA starts, it's going to be another showdown in regards to that. We already saw the baseball player Neil also, and a lot of people, NASCAR came out and said these things, the NHL. I mean, it's now taking a hold of all sports, and it should never have gotten to this point. And he was completely wrong for saying anything about the NFL and attacking the players and stuff like that. And he's just a clown for the whole thing.
He's a huge clown, but he doesn't, like, nothing he does anymore surprises me. I mean, the fact is, this man is like, you say, don't put sports and politics together. Like, I can completely understand that in the sense of, I think that every player, athlete, whoever it may be, man, woman, does not matter. You have your own personal preferences. That's more than fine. But when it comes to sports is supposed to be something about unity, something about family. It doesn't matter what side you're on. Sports is supposed to bring people of all lives, races, ethnicities, religion together. And when you do something like that and say something like that, and you're trying to divide everybody, and it's not about dividing. Like you said, like, his slogan is "Make America Great Again." But if you're making America, how are you making America great when you are dividing people? You're not supposed to divide people. You're supposed to bring people in together as unity. I mean, JG, what do you think of this clown of a president that we have about the NFL tweets, and, like, how do you feel about that?
I'm more mad that the entire narrative of what happened last year with Colin Kaepernick has been skewed.
Yeah,
it's gone now.
It's gone. It's gone.
It's
He's gonna need to speak. He needs to speak.
Yeah, he does. I feel like Colin Kaepernick definitely does need to do everybody a in service and say once again what your original stance was when you sat, and then after you kneeled after talking to the military guy.
Yeah, the military guy. Yeah, that's a good point. I was going to bring that up, actually. I'm glad you brought it up, because he actually sat out the anthem, and it was almost like this was the middle ground was, okay, well, I'm going to kneel instead. I'm just not going to stand. It's more of, I'm showing that I'm not disrespecting the flag and the military, but at the same time, I'm taking a stand, kneel basically to bring this in light about the injustices, etc. Right. That message has turned into, and I honestly think Trump did this to make it about himself, but he took that whole, pretty much like a middle ground and turned it into an attack instead. And it wasn't that to begin with, but now you got people. This is where Shannon Sharp came in, where he was saying, well, now all of a sudden people are kneeling and stuff like that, but it looks like it's not about what it was before. It's more in spite now, or they're saying it's unity, but then you're looking at it and it's more of a middle finger to Trump instead. So it made it about him instead.
Yep. Sunday was all about that. It was literally all about that. I can almost guarantee you that probably the majority of teams would not have locked arms. They wouldn't have kneeled together. They wouldn't have done any of that if Trump didn't start the fire and say a big F you to pretty much the entire NFL with his tweets.
They wouldn't have got anything.
It wouldn't have happened. And what else was I going to say? It's just really terrible, and I really hate that the NFL. There are a bunch of hypocrites as well, like the owners. Just think about Jerry Jones. Did you see the smile on his face when he got that time on TV? Yeah. Oh my God, he was smiling from ear to ear. He was so happy that his team got that time, and that they locked arms and they kneeled and they got back up. It was a show, man. It's a circus show now, and I'm just sick of it. Like, do you know that, and a lot of people probably didn't even realize this. I actually didn't realize this either. A lot of teams didn't even come out of the locker room during the national anthem. The national anthem has turned into like the halftime show now.
Exactly.
Like, they literally put on the screen, hey, national anthem's coming up next, and then all the camera angles, who's standing, who's sitting. You have NFL players, they're like literally fighting with themselves because of their beliefs. They may not believe that it's a big deal. A lot of them last year didn't think that it was a big deal, but some of them did. And Colin Kaepernick, He got some of his own teammates to kneel, and then other people started taking notes. They were like, okay, I'm down for the movement against police brutality, against inequality. That was the entire message, right? It was never about the flag. You were never disrespecting the flag, but literally that has turned into the narrative now, and it's sickening, man. It's sickening.
It's horrible.
And on top of that, it's turned into where, like I tweeted it, it's turned into like the Tebow challenge and stuff. You got all these celebrities now taking pictures of themselves doing it like it meant something now. You know what I mean?
It's like I said, it's the era of social media. It's like
it's turned into a trend instead, and that's not what it was about.
It's like you go donate to charity and you go feed the homeless, and most of the times people would just go and they would do their community service and everything along those lines. Nowadays, you got people doing it for clout, doing it for love, and not even just for love, and just doing it to help people out, like for retweets and for follows and for likes. You got people recording themselves doing something. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand from an organizational standpoint, like I mean for a business standpoint too. It's good to showcase your team, your organization, and whatever they may be taking care of and doing a community service. I think that's a great thing. But when people continue to do that, and I feel like they lose track of doing that, they're like, oh, I need to do this and show it on social media so everybody loves me. It's not about that. It's about
now. How do y'all? No, go ahead. Go finish what you were saying.
No, I was gonna say it's not about that. It should be about bringing people together. It should be helping people and everything along those lines. And one point that I wanted to bring back up that JG.
Before you start that, I wanted to ask you, what do you think of how the Cowboys did it though? To where they kneeled before the anthem and then did the locking during the anthem.
I think it's stupid. Honestly, it's like you're either gonna do it and you're gonna do it.
But the message was still the same, though. But how is that different than what Bill Russell did? He took a picture of him kneeling. So is that any less? There was no anthem going on.
I think the message is different because the fact is, one, let's just keep it buck and let's just keep it real. The reason why they kneeled is because of Trump and what he said. They didn't kneel. A lot of people didn't kneel for the police brutality.
No, I know that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about though if this is the what is it called? Like the negotiation of the whole thing. Like if this is what gets people less pissed off about it being during the anthem, and if everybody does kneel that wants to kneel for the injustices and all that stuff, and they do it before the anthem, the TV cameras are still rolling. What makes the message less because it's not on during the anthem?
I feel like
because if we're saying that it needs to be during the anthem, then why is Bill Russell? Why is he getting praised for kneeling in a picture, or why is the cast of X-Files getting praised for kneeling in a set of their of the X-Files when there's no national anthem playing at the X-Files set? So
that's what we were saying earlier, is the fact that I still feel like people are being deterred away from what the true message was. I truly believe that's the reason why Colin Kaepernick did it during the anthem. It wasn't just the fact that the cameras are all on him and everything like that. Is what his truly beliefs were for. He doesn't have, like JG said earlier, and he made it a point. He said he talked to somebody that was in the actual protect the USA, and they said, hey, it was disrespectful for him to sit during the national anthem, so that's why he put his knees down during it itself. And you're saying, well, what's the difference if they do it before, if they do it after? No, he did it during the national anthem. He did it for the fact is he thinks that the police brutality for men of color.
So does that mean that the scientists that kneeled for injustices, that means that their message doesn't count? Is that what you're saying because it wasn't during the anthem?
I don't necessarily say that the message won't count. I just truly believe that if they're gonna do it, they should do it how it's being done. Don't try to compromise in any type of way. That's the point of a protest. The point of a protest is to make people feel uncomfortable. It's not to compromise with them or anything like that. It's supposed to be comfortable.
But then that means, and like I said, everybody has the right to do whatever the hell they want. I'm a person that believes in the Constitution, all this stuff, right? But what that means, that the argument that people say is that you're disrespecting the anthem at that point. You're saying that it doesn't count if it's not the anthem. So that means, why is the message should be, if you're kneeling, period, it should be the message, right? But if it has to be during the anthem, then you're basically, proving their point that, hey, you are doing it then just because it's the anthem.
You're making too much sense there, Siggy.
Yeah, that's exactly
that's how it should be, right?
That's how it should be.
The entire message overall should be
exactly.
But literally, people are getting mad because they're doing it during the anthem. They feel like doing it during the anthem is the problem. And the funny thing is, even though they kneeled, the Cowboys specifically, they kneel before at the anthem and then locked arms, people still boo. Like it.
Oh no, yeah, they're still gonna boo. Well, I mean, well then people. I'm just saying people got mad at them because I mean, what's his name? Did Jamil's co-host Michael Smith?
Yeah, like people were booing.
He got mad about it because it wasn't during the anthem, but he's saying that he took it away. You know, took the point away from it all.
Yeah,
but
I can understand.
But if that's the case, then Bill Russell shouldn't be getting 50,000 retweets for his picture.
But that's what we just talked about before, is that art of social media, doing it for likes and retweets.
Saying that it almost seems, if you're going to be looking at it, logical sense, it almost seems like it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like, certain people get a pass for doing it.
And that's the problem. That's the problem right there, is that certain people get a pass to be able to do something like that. And it's a shame. It should not be like that at all. And you know what? And this is why I said, like, I think the whole protest and the NFL coming together is cool. Whatever. I think it's very hypocritical, especially on the owners, when most of these men donated millions of dollars to Trump. So the thing is, though, that's just crazy to me, and I think Shannon Sharp said it perfectly. I think it's depressing that it took Trump's tweet and him saying what he said
for everybody to actually bring light into it.
Yeah, to bring light into it. The fact that unarmed African American men are being shot and killed, and that's not enough for the fact that that's what Colin Kaepernick was kneeling for, is for the injustice of men of color and people of color. People couldn't come together for that, but a tweet and being called a son of a bitch causes the NFL to come together.
Right.
Like, come together in unity, it made Jerry Jones kneel.
Yeah, they say, "Oh no, you call me a bad name and you messing with my money." Okay, all right, now it's time to get serious.
Right, exactly. Really that, and my friends were talking about it too. Like, is Jerry Jones gonna kneel? Is he not? Because we know that Jerry Jones and Trump are cool like that. We know it, but it's like, whoa, you threatening my money, because NFL is already losing a lot when it comes to things with Colin Kaepernick itself. I mean, you got people returning their DirecTV packages. You got people burning their season tickets,
because it's divided us, and that's the point we came across in the beginning. The thing that makes it bad the most, it's a lose-lose now. You got people,
and Ray Lewis
is a perfect example of it. Ray Lewis is a perfect example of it's a lose-lose, because if he didn't kneel, he was being called all kinds of stuff, right? He finally does get on his knees, and then he still got bashed for it. So then he comes back and like, okay, you know what? It wasn't about that. It was just me praying. And now, of course, that's going to be even worse. But I'm just saying, even whenever people thought that he was kneeling, everybody attacked him for like, oh, now you're doing it. He was the perfect example of what Shannon Sharp was talking about. And it's just that it's just so weird, though, that, we pick and choose who we want to get mad at about these things. It should be,
you're right. You're absolutely right. And I'm glad Shannon Sharp called out Ray Lewis, because Ray Lewis is horrible. He's one of the biggest hypocrites of them all. He was the one that says, I can never take a kneel. I can never kneel during the national anthem for my family, for my people that defend my country. And that's how he feels. I'm more than okay with that. But keep that same energy when everyone else is doing everything. Now you become a huge hypocrite. And the fact is, he didn't just kneel. He got on both his knees, and a lot of people called it, and I was listening to the Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne the Guy called it exactly before it happened too. He was going to say that he was praying, and that's exactly what he did. And he just said,
the ones I feel worse, the bad about the most is the Steelers, though, because Mike Tomlin, you could tell he genuinely wanted it to just be about football.
Yeah,
he wanted to keep everybody in the locker room, and he wanted to do it out of not to disrespect anything, more of, hey, I just don't want to bring politics into this team. We just want to concentrate on football.
Exactly.
But then it became about they're banning the national anthem. Oh my God, it's even worse if they don't come out at all. And then the one guy did come out. What's his name? The Army Ranger. Yeah, and that was an accident. But I mean, it was just. And then he became the best-selling jersey because it's become, like I said, it's become divisive.
And he even regretted it after he did that. He regretted it because he already said that even though that's how he felt, he defended his country and everything like that. The one thing that he disappointed about is the fact that he wasn't part of the team unity, and he apologized about
That was a difference of beliefs within your own team. Like,
Well, even Ben Roethlisberger was mad that it wasn't him that.
Yeah, because Roethlisberger said that he wanted to be out there, but you know what though? I commend Roethlisberger because even though he personally felt like he wanted to be out there, he was a team player. He was trying to keep the unity.
Well, that's the other guy was put in a bad light. He wound up accidentally coming out because of the Bears doing something or whatnot. If the thing is, the media only showed him, but if you looked at the picture where the guy that took the picture of him, the team was standing up and had their hand over their heart in the tunnel. The team was there. It's just he happened to be out a little further.
Yeah, but he shouldn't. He knew what he was doing when it came to that. He wanted to be
that's
seen.
The thing. I don't know if he necessarily knew until it happened. Like,
no. He wanted to be seen because that's why he said afterwards that he regretted doing that. He should have been a unit and been with team unity itself. And that's exactly what it is. But we're gonna blame Trump again. We're gonna see how this protest and continue to go. I just don't want people to lose sight, and it's unfortunate that they are.
Let's talk about real quick the NBA part of it. The NBA has a specific rule that says that players have to stand for the anthem. They actually that's the thing. The NFL doesn't have that rule, but the NBA does. So what do you think is going to happen between now and the start of the NBA season? Because there's going to be somebody's going to break that rule.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be probably more controversial.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. One thing I will say about the NBA that I can't say about the NFL, even though the NBA does have that rule itself, the NBA is been proven, it's been shown through the commissioners, and everything has been spoken about from coaches to players to athletic facilities, whatever it may be. Those players and people part of those organizations have every right to be able to voice their own opinion and their personal beliefs. The NBA has always been very good about that, especially now and then. They definitely have been. So
there's still team rules. A perfect example of that argument you're saying right now. Odell Beckham had the freedom of right to pretend he was a dog and pissing on the end zone, but he's still going to get fined for it. So it's not that they took his freedom of speech away or anything like that. But when you're in the quote-unquote workplace, you didn't hear about that?
No, I know that, but I'm just saying I'm saying the NBA.
I know.
The NFL.
But what you're saying is, they actually had this rule way before protests were part of the discussion. They had the rule that you have to stand. So if you do kneel and they get fined, you can't sit there and say, "Oh, well, they had the right to do it. They shouldn't fine them." But they've always had that rule. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to be defiant then in that case.
Yeah.
So who's gonna be the one who does it?
Now this is where it's gonna hit pockets. See, the NFL didn't get to hit anybody's pockets with this. Only whenever they do the touchdown celebrations or something in the end zone, like Odell Beckham. But now NBA, these players are probably gonna get hit their pockets. Do you think people are gonna boycott the NBA if they do start hitting pockets?
Nah, I don't think they are.
Nah, I don't think they are because of how they are and how they promote people being, speaking about how they feel and their beliefs and everything like that. The NBA was going to take care of their players. I feel like they are. The commissioner doesn't want that.
I agree with 55 problems. I think LeBron and Steph Curry is going to do it. I mean, one, they make enough money to where it's not going to cost them anything anyways if they do. But I do think that they're going to challenge it. I think what's going to happen is they're going to kneel every single game, rack up the fines, tweet everybody. This is where LeBron is going to be tweeting during the season, and he's going to say, "Look, I just got 100,000 now for this. This is not right," and it's going to start more conversation about it.
You also got to keep in mind that's 82 games versus 16.
Exactly, and the big name people doing that, LeBron, Steph Curry, if they're doing that, if they challenge the NBA. The people that make the most money doing that, challenging NBA, the NBA is going to fold. Is guarantee you they're going to be like, we're not going to fine our players for that. You know how much, like, when it comes to overall why everybody's doing it is because of the injustice that are being done to men and women of color. Give or take 80% of the league, I could be a little bit off, but are colored. That's dominantly in the NBA are mainly African American males, if not somebody of color. I guarantee you they are not going to play around with that. The NBA is not going to play with their money. They are going to let those men do what they need to do As long
so you think Silver's gonna announce soon? Hey, we're releasing that rule. No, but it's no longer a rule.
I don't think Silver's gonna announce. I don't think he's gonna relieve the rule. They're just gonna come some loop. They're gonna do something. When it comes to that,
donate it to like a charity.
Yeah, exactly. If anything,
or whatever.
If anything,
that would still seem ingenuine, though, right? I mean, at this point, if you want to avoid it, Silver just needs to come out and say, "Hey, look, you know what? In light of the situation, this is no longer a rule." I mean, I know it's gonna, but the thing is, you're gonna be getting a lot of more people mad too, because look, Cleveland police are already mad about the whole thing. They're already talking about LeBron. So it's just gonna. I just think that this is gonna be more of a fight. Yeah, whenever it's the NBA's turn, because the NFL is right now just taking all the hits, but once the NBA starts, I think it's gonna be a little bit different.
Yeah, exactly. And Silver's like, Silver's like, yeah, I don't have to worry about this at this moment. This is the off season. I'll let my players do what they need to. I mean, I'm sure they're having meetings right now as we speak about discussing how they are going to move forward with the NBA season, because as you said, Siggy, the spotlight's going to be on them soon. It's absolutely going to be on with them soon, definitely. So it's we're going to see where it goes. I look forward to the NBA season, but is there anything else you guys want to talk about this clown as a president and what's happening? Oh yeah, before that, shout out to LeBron James. LeBron James went in on President Trump after that, and I quote from his tweet, "You bum, Steph Curry 30 already said he ain't going, so therefore ain't no invite. Going to the White House was a great honor until you showed up." I salute LeBron James for sticking up and saying that. You know what? I appreciate him. Any thoughts behind that, you guys? I know you guys probably agree with them, right?
It's a tweet. I mean, yeah,
like I
said, it was funny.
It was funny. Like I said, I mean, the as far as the president goes, for President Trump, he shouldn't have ever opened his mouth and stuff like this. He needs to stick to foreign policy. He needs to stick to the tax plan that he wants, or repealing Obamacare, whatever he wants to do, whatever he thinks is going to make America great again. He just needs to stay out of the American stuff, whether like NFL stuff. It doesn't matter for a president. It's just not presidential in the end.
It's not everybody. Go ahead.
His platform, is one that could cause a whole bunch of divisiveness by attacking stuff like this. So it's turned into, like we said, the message is no longer about, and he made it specifically about attacking the flag or attacking pride, attacking if you're even an American at this point. And that's what's wrong. That's what somebody with that much power can do. He can influence. If you look at the polls, all these polls like CNN and all of them are showing that like 70% of people are saying that they're not being patriotic and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's changing the narrative. It's horrible.
Exactly. It's made it to where it's just unnecessary for him to do that. It was not necessary for the president to speak up on something like this. This is an issue that we should be worried about. So, yeah, what LeBron did, I mean, LeBron, pretty much is checking him, and he should at this point, because it seems like he's not being checked on Twitter. So
right, it is. I salute LeBron James for that, and like everyone, and like people are saying in the chat, I definitely do think if when it comes to the NBA, LeBron James and Steph Curry will be the face of it. I mean, I just think Trump is a clown for that. Like, just overall, just a complete clown. But shout out to LeBron James and everything like that. And you know what? Since we are talking about,
hold on.
All right, go ahead.
I know you're trying to go to the next topic. I just want to say one more thing about football.
Go ahead.
For all the owners that decide to take a knee and go out there with their team and stuff, can we at least give Colin Kaepernick a job again?
Thank you.
I don't care if he's third string, fourth string. Can he get on Nate?
And you know what's funny? Hey, JG, that's a good point you made, because our very first show of the year about NFL, we talked about Kaepernick getting a job and all that stuff, and we thought that the kneeling and all that stuff was going to eventually die because he's not in the NFL. Now, the reason why everybody thought he was blackballed was because they didn't want the attention of the kneeling and all that, right? Well, now it's in our face 24/7. Exactly. Yeah, now it's here. So now what's the excuse?
We're talking about unity, right? We're talking
right. But here's
can we get him on the team? So,
right.
So he can unify with one of his NFL teams again.
Right.
And he's going to go to the Chargers. I hear the Chargers need a quarterback, right? Because they suck.
Yeah. All right. You know what?
You can't make fun of my Jets no more. We got to win, baby.
We'll talk about that during the NFL scores. God damn it. But yeah.
We did. When you brought up Kaepernick, what do you think about Sports Illustrated leaving him off?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. First of all, why'd you put Roger Goodell on there? Why? Roger, he was the wrong one to put on there. You should have had
in the front row on top of that.
Right. You should have had
Kaepernick. Steph Curry.
Right. Kaepernick should have been on there. Kaepernick should have most definitely been on there. And what you guys said is very true. I mean, the NFL has no excuse now. No NFL team is excluded from all of this. The pressure of kneeling is on every team. So with that being said, Colin Kaepernick definitely should be on a team. But the thing is, though, Colin Kaepernick was not kneeling, and people aren't kneeling for Kaepernick to get a job back. They're kneeling for what the beliefs are. But I do feel like, you know, Colin Kaepernick deserves to at least have a second string job for sure. But, you know, we'll see. You know, he's supposed to go to Miami, and, you know, Jay fucking Cutler went there. So yeah. So anyways, let's talk about.
Well, all right, let's talk about real quick. You know, the Sports Illustrated. Who would you rather have had there instead of Roger Goodell? It should have been.
I think it should have been Kaepernick.
A coach for the Spurs there. No, I know Kaepernick should be on there. But
Kaepernick.
I'm just saying.
Would
you put Greg Popovich?
Absolutely.
I think he should have been there, right?
Greg Popovich is amazing. He's the GOAT of coaches. He really is an amazing guy. Just personally, all of that. He kept it so real when it came to when they asked about how he felt and everything like that. The fact is, this man knows and says, yes, he was born and had privilege for the fact that the color of his skin, and he's been acknowledging that, and he's been preaching that, and more people need to be like that. Yo, shout out to Pop, man. He's a real one for sure. He gets a plate to the dinner at the family reunion for sure.
He gets some barbecue.
Oh yeah, he definitely gets some barbecue. But I mean, other than this whole negative stuff and everything like that, I apologize to you guys. I know we got it. You know, being a game Illuminaughty and being a predominantly men of color business, we could not say anything about this. We have to. I mean, everybody in GI has their own personal thoughts and feelings behind this, and it's just something, a topic that it needs to happen. The conversation needs to happen. And I will say, even though all of the events that led up to all of this, at least the conversation is happening, that people need to be uncomfortable, and hopefully something will come out of it moving forward. But enough about that. Let's talk about some of the we talk about the NFL scores later. Fuck the Chargers. I'm gonna say that right now. Let's just talk about NBA. So let's talk about Dwayne Wade real quick. I mean, this is nothing new to a lot of people. We figured that Dwayne Wade would go back to Cleveland, and that has happened. He is signed for $2.3 million for 1 year. JG, tell me your thoughts. Go.
I mean, like you said, I saw it coming, especially once Butler left. That was pretty much it for Dwayne. Dwayne was like, "What? Why you leaving me, dog? Like, I came over here for you, and now you just decide to leave." But I mean, he's going back to the best friend. I've never seen a relationship in the NBA like this. It's been a long time. Like, LeBron and Dwayne Wade are legit friends. Like, they love playing together. They love going out with each other. I'm pretty sure they probably talk to each other every single day. So I know that LeBron already knew about this. Dwayne Wade was like, "Yeah, dog, I'm coming back. I just want to play with you, dog. Just give me another year, try to win another championship, and then we can go on separate ways after that." So I'm not surprised. I'm just worried about what Dwayne Wade can do if he can sustain. I think he still can, because he was still averaging like 22 points a game. So he ain't old yet. He ain't super old yet. But
I mean, he's a shell of his former self.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, with the older age, that's what happens. But I think that he will still do a good job on that Cavs roster. The Cavs are shaping up nicely, man. They just need IT back, and I think they'll have a pretty legitimate starting five.
Now the question,
and on top of that, the rumor is that Tristan Thompson, J.R.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
They're waiving it. They're waiving it for DeMarcus Cousins out here.
Man, I don't think that's happening, bro. I don't think that's happening. I don't
Here's
know.
why it makes sense. Here's why it makes sense for both teams. One, we know that IT's gonna leave, right? I think everybody's figured that out. I don't think he's gonna stay beyond this 1 year, especially after the whole debacle of the trade in the first place.
Right.
DeMarcus Cousins also, though, his contract is up. So the Pelicans went all in thinking this was going to be a great idea, and it didn't seem like it was whenever they were playing, right? Did you I remember when the trade happened, didn't you think that they're definitely going to make it? They didn't make it, right?
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised. I was surprised about that. I won't lie.
So now this Nets pick, everybody knows the Nets are going to be horrible next year. This is a legit shot of at least a top 5 if they have the worst record.
Right.
So if it happens to be a 1 overall, this is exactly what the Pelicans want, because there's no guarantees that Cousins is going to stay. And then you got a lot of players that are probably, aside from Davis, are probably not going to be there. So that team might not be good. So you can build upon this draft pick. So that draft pick is enticing enough alone, you know, with that team. So this is why I think it can happen. I'm not sure if it will. It's rumors. But it makes sense for them to go all in, because the Cavs, they need to prove to LeBron that they can still win with the Warriors being, you know, built like this. Because if they don't, he might be gone. So it's almost like they're put in a corner.
Yeah, because, you know, Dwayne Wade is there for a year. And like everyone's saying, like, can Dwayne Wade, Isaiah Thomas, and Derrick Rose addition to the Cavs make LeBron want to stay after this year? And I think it really doesn't just have to do with the team. I believe that it has something to do with the management and everything along those lines. I still feel like it has to be that way. We will see. I think the Cavaliers are looking great so far, and they can be contenders for sure. But I think that the better,
well, they're already contenders.
We're the contenders, but it's just about, let's see how the chemistry is with Isaiah Thomas. Let's see the chemistry with Derrick Rose. I feel it's easy for, you know, Dwayne Wade, because, you know, him and LeBron have played, so they're like this. So, and you got Jay Crowder there as well. So I mean, Cavaliers have a shot. We can see.
I mean, their projected bench is looking pretty good. I'm not even
that was their weakness against the Warriors.
Oh, they got a grade A bench too. Like, that's the thing. Like,
you have Derrick Rose, JR, you have Jay Crowder,
yeah,
and who else? I forgot looking at that list. Kyle Korver. So that looks pretty nice, man. It looks pretty nice. So
they got a squad. Yeah,
we'll
have to see. I'm just gonna say it right now, man.
Y'all didn't even mention Kevin Love.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin Love, obviously.
Yeah, he started.
He's a starter.
He started, but
I know, but it's just funny that we talked about everybody on that team but Love.
Kevin Love has kind of got put back in the shadows.
He definitely
really
has.
Kind of did get put back in the shadows.
Yeah,
I still think he's a good player, but it was just being on the Cavs team from him and his amazing double performances on the Timberwolves. It kind of went downhill, but he showed up when it needed to, though.
Exactly. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean,
I feel more bad for Flock, because now his Bulls are decimated. The Knicks look better than the Bulls right now.
Whoa.
He gonna be crying this year.
Whoa.
You got Cameron Payne, baby.
Shots. I mean, I can't really talk, but shots. But all right, so that happened, and Carmelo Anthony. Now I want JG, me and you are gonna be quiet. I want Siggy to talk about this. Siggy, you're a Knicks fan. New York has nothing. Should be happy for Carmelo about him leaving, and happy about him just wanting to go into future endeavors. No, but I've already seen it. I've seen people burn his jersey. I've seen people going on him on Twitter and everything along that. Carmelo Anthony, after his list came out of teams he would go to, I believe it was a day or maybe 2 days afterwards, don't quote me, he ended up signing with Oklahoma City, and now he is part of the Thunder. That's Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and now Carmelo Anthony on the Thunder. Siggy, what are your thoughts about Carmelo leaving New York? Go.
Carmelo is a douchebag. All right, here's why. As a Knicks fan, I always supported Melo, right? The thing is, this year, he thought he had all the cards in his hand, right? So he wanted to, before anything was happening, before, you know, all these moves were made, he gave the Knicks a list of teams that had the Cavs, that had the, it was Cavs, it was, I think, Rockets and somebody else. Cavs, Rockets, and I forgot the last team.
Wait, wasn't it like Timberwolves or something?
But yeah, I think it was. But when Kyrie Irving wanted to be traded, he took the team Cavs away. So this is the Knicks would have been able to trade for Kyrie. That would have been a lot better than what the hell they got in the end. And you could tell the Knicks were like, hey, you know, since you took this team off, you're not being traded now. And I bet you what happened was he was crying in the background. No, I don't want to be here. I want to be here. And then finally, whenever it was like the 12th hour, okay, you can trade me to any team you want. Because then it started coming out that he wanted to be OKC. Cleveland was back on the table. Hell, he was even willing to go prior to the Bulls at that point.
Right.
He wanted out of New York, period. And now that the thing that got me mad is when I saw the Cavs back on that list, because that just shows that he wanted to screw the Knicks over at that point. You know, I don't want to go there because, you know, Kyrie's not there. But then when it came to, or then you're playing with us. Okay, no, never mind. I do want to play there. You know, I hated that. And then on top of that, they wound up getting nothing. Even if they would have been able with the Cavs, I wanted that draft pick. I wanted that Nets pick.
Right.
But instead, we got a trash second pick.
Right,
we got trash. We got Cantor, who's trash.
And you got Enes Cantor, and you got Doug McDermott, and you got a
trash. And we got a second round pick that's never gonna play.
Yeah, the Chicago Bulls 2018 second round pick.
So trash. We got nothing. We got nothing for him. In the end, I'd rather take the Ryan Anderson and the Rockets' first pick that they were willing to give up, and now we couldn't even do that. It was trash. So I was mad about the whole thing. I'd rather just keep, like I said on Twitter, I'd rather them have just kept Melo, $25 million on the bench at that point, and just let him play the whole season doing nothing. I'd rather do that than get what we got.
Right.
I mean, the Knicks are gonna suck anyway. So what's the point?
JG, what are your thoughts?
Boy, New York, do y'all like basketball or what? That's crazy, man. Phil Jackson literally blew that entire organization up. I remember everybody was hyping up Phil Jackson when he came. I mean, obviously, because, I mean, you have so many rings under your belt. You're going to be great to this organization. Nope. Man came through, blew that shit up.
Him and Derek Fisher.
Yeah, New York once again has to deal with another probably like 2 to 3 more years of suffering. I just don't know what's going on in New York, man. The Nets blew themselves up too. Like, y'all just don't care about basketball at all. It's just all about baseball.
Yeah,
right
baseball
now.
Pretty much,
and football with the Jets still being the best team right now, which is crazy.
God,
crazy. But man, I really wasn't expecting him to go to the Thunder though. I thought that the Rockets were a sure lock. I thought that Chris Paul and James Harden were going to convince him to come over there. But what do you know? He decides to go with PG and Russell Westbrook. I really want to know what the dynamic is going to be like. I want to know who's going to play the 2, the 3, and the 4, because it could be either or. A lot of people were saying that Carmelo could possibly play the 2. I don't think he'll fit at the 2. I think he'll probably be better as a 4. I know that Paul George don't really like playing the 4, because I know that he had problems playing for the Pacers when they try to put him at a 4. So I think PG probably going to stay at a 3. But I really want to know, because like Russell Westbrook, everybody keeps saying that, you know, he's a ball hog, but you can't say that last year, like, because that man had an amazing freaking season, but he didn't have a team. He had a lot of people to assist to, but he didn't really have anybody who
got a team
was that go-to scorer. Now he does.
He's got a team.
We really gonna see that. I mean, like, let's say if like some people were saying, I didn't say that. I don't think he could play the 2 at all, but Melo. But I was like, y'all ridiculous. No, hell no, he ain't playing no damn 2. He playing the 4. I think he gonna play.
Yeah, I see him playing the 4, and I see PG definitely going for maybe the 2 or the 3 for sure.
Yeah, but it's gonna be crazy though, because I have a feeling that it's gonna be a lot of jokes coming back about you know, when Russell Westbrook and KD were playing on the same team, about Russell Westbrook shooting too much and not giving KD the ball when it mattered. But now he got 2 people to get the ball to, so he has options now. I'm really excited to see how the Thunder and how the Rockets are going to be, because those are 2 like what if situations there. Because Chris Paul and James Harden are ball dominant, Russell Westbrook is definitely ball dominant, and Carmelo slows everything down when he gets the ball. So we gonna see, man. We definitely gonna see what happens. But the Warriors definitely have some teams to go after. They're not a surefire bet.
The West is lit. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think it's still a surefire though, because I mean, all right, let's go ahead and play, because we knew that KD fit there in Warriors. As far as we didn't know about the chemistry and all that, but we knew he could fit there.
Right.
Do you think Melo fits on that team, on the Warrior, on the Thunder?
I think.
I mean, because like you said, we don't even know what position he's playing. If he is the 4, he's gonna be struggling to score, I imagine, because he always liked bullying the 3s, right? And he's not gonna be bullying any 4s.
Yeah, I just say here's the thing: the addition to Carmelo Anthony and having Paul George there for Russell Westbrook is an amazing thing, and I think it's a great thing. It takes some pressure off of him. He has a team, like we all said, and now the fact is they're going to be even more dangerous, because everyone was saying like, oh, Russell's not gonna share the ball. He has the option. I really believe that this is gonna be something special with OKC. I do think that he's gonna pass the ball off, and the great thing about it is someone they can't double down on, while those 3 are on the court, they can't double down on Russell, on Melo, or on Paul, because if they do, the ball is going to go to directly somebody else, and they're going to score, and it's going to be dangerous. I don't know. I don't see it really happening like that. I don't really see it happening like that. I mean, I mean,
I remember somebody else said something ridiculous, like they said Melo should come off the bench. I was like,
oh yeah, that man Melo was like,
I was
me?
like, no, hell no, Melo would not stand for that. But
I mean, he won't do that.
It's interesting though. It would be interesting if he ever like slightly considered that. Like, their bench would be insane, but nah, that ain't happening though. That ain't happening. They gonna have to choose. They gonna have to find that out, like who's going where. But depending on who goes where, like I said, it's definitely gonna be interesting. I'm willing to bet that they're probably gonna go to the second round, if not the Western Conference Finals. We'll see though, because
man, that'd be,
like I said, they're no slouches. They're no slouches, but we gotta see what happens, man. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, this gonna. I mean, with all the other drama going around with the like sports and everything like that, and politics and whatnot, the NBA season, this has to be one of the most exciting NBA off seasons we've had in a long time. Like, these trades and everything like that is crazy, and I'm excited for the season. It has a lot. We're gonna be eyeing. We're gonna be seeing how the East is gonna look. You know what? I honestly think that the Wizards might end up sneaking in. They may be getting that second spot. I don't know if they're gonna get the number 1 spot. We don't know. There's
Celtics are still there. Celtics made a lot of moves too.
You think the Celtics will beat the? You think the Celtics will be above the Wizards, and they'll be Cleveland, then Celtics, and then the Wizards afterwards?
Sorry, TBH, but yeah, I do. I think Kyrie Irving's gonna be on the mission. I think he's gonna want to prove that he could do it without LeBron, and the team was already good. You know, they made it always obviously against the Cavs already. So with Hayward and Kyrie, I mean, I think that was upgrade. The team is upgraded for sure.
Right. I definitely do think the team is upgraded. And I know, like I said, I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see. The team chemistry is something that, you know, I'm more worried about the team chemistry with Oklahoma City than I am with the Cavs. I feel like the Cavs will be fine when it comes to team chemistry. I feel like Celtics will be fine with team chemistry. You know, with Kyrie over there and Gordon Hayward over there, I feel like they'll be fine. So it's going to be interesting to see if those three can work. And the question is, from that now that Carmelo is a Thunder, will this mean after the year's up, will PG end up going to the Lakers? I feel like now that this has happened, I feel like this is going to push PG to go over to the Lakers. It has a more greater chance. I didn't think it was,
especially if there's a fight about 3 and 4 for sure.
Exactly. I didn't think that there was a shot of PG going over to the Lakers before, but now with this happening, I think it's a little bit more possible that we can actually see that happen. And that's not me being like a typical Laker fan and being like, oh
yeah, you are. That's
everything.
you being typical Laker fan.
No,
you're gonna get Cousins. You're gonna get LeBron.
That's stupid. I don't think. Look, cool. LeBron has a house in LA. Cool. I don't see LeBron being in LA. If he came to LA, cool. Whatever. I actually truly see PG. There's more of a chance now with the addition to Carmelo Anthony to the Thunder that PG might go over to the Lakers, depending on how they do this year. I mean,
so you think this was insurance? You think this was insurance instead?
No, I just said we got to see how the season goes, but I definitely do think that it's a possibility. But we have to see where the season goes first. After the season goes, we see how the teams work with each other. Then we could be able to have more of a determining factor or a hint or something along those lines to see where it goes. But you know, we have to let the season start. But it's up in the air now. Now, one thing that I wanted to ask you, Siggy, personally, is what about Porzingis? Does Porzingis stay in New York and stay in Nick, or does he go somewhere else?
Yeah, he does. Nah, he loves that spotlight. He does. You see him on Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen all that.
He's funny. Nah, New York was made for New York. That personality. The only other team I could see him that would thrive the way he's been thriving like now would be maybe the Mavs. He could be the new Dirk, but nah, he likes New York a lot, so he's gonna stay in New York. And all the toxic is gone now. It was Phil. He was mad at Phil Jackson, so.
Right, that's out of the picture, you know. So enough about the NBA. It's gonna be lit. Can't wait. You know, nobody can use Oklahoma City Thunder though online for NBA 2K. That's all I'm gonna say. If you do, you're a cheater. But let's go ahead and talk about some more basketball. But we're gonna talk about college basketball. So if you guys remember a while ago, there was this huge scandal that the NCAA they were actually doing a probe and they were doing an investigation over at University of Louisville, and now because of that scandal, and I'm actually very shocked that they waited this long to allow it to happen, but the head coach at University of Louisville, Rick Pitino, has been placed on unpaid administrative leave, And
he's outright fired now, isn't he?
No, he has been as of 3:36, so around 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, Louisville has placed him on unpaid administrative leave.
That's kind of interesting. I wonder if maybe his contract makes it where he couldn't be fired.
Maybe, but he has left.
Because I thought all the news said he was fired, but.
Right, and here, and if you guys don't know in the chat, so the Louisville basketball team had been accused of basically prostitution to up and coming people that are going to be on the team, so recruits. So they would go out, they would hang out with the players, they would have their visit at the university, and at night, you know, they get them a little something apparently when they hang out with the players and whatnot. And there was a huge scandal behind that, but with that happening, honestly, that opened up the door to a lot of other things. A lot of people have been doing a lot of shady things when it comes to the NCAA, when it comes to the basketball recruits and everything along those lines. Louisville is not the only university, and it will not be the last university to.
Well, I think what's shocking is that it was like over 300 people arrested. Is that what they said?
It was a lot of people arrested. There was a lot of people that have been in investigation. It's all bad. Like, it's really bad. It's bad for the university. It's bad for the NCAA. It's bad for high school recruits, because I believe that they're going to be changing some rules about when it comes to official and unofficial visits, all of that.
The thing is, here's what makes the scandal, more scandalous, I guess, is that many people, a lot of them were agents and a whole bunch of other stuff, they said, and now the NBA is starting to have an investigation. And it's I think this is going to be a lot deeper than just Louisville.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a probe, and look, I'll keep it buck with y'all. Like, I've known about stuff like this that's happened in collegiate sports.
Well, you're not the only one. They make movies about it. He got game.
Like there's a whole exactly. Like, this is something that's not new. But with today's age, they're cracking down on all of that. And you know what? I don't blame them. I'm gonna keep it real with you. A typical recruit night would be.
So how did it go for you? Because you lived this, right? So what do they do? What do they do? How do they pull the red carpet out for you?
But here's the thing though, from like college athlete perspective and everything along those lines. When I was a prospect going to these visits for universities or whatnot, what they really would do, and I'm 10 years removed, so they can't take me away from anything like that. So whatever. What they would typically do is you would meet with the coaches, you would go through the facility, you may meet your potential academic counselor, you would see the university's campus, you would go out to dinner with the coach, your family and everything like that. And then at night, you would hang out with one of the players, and they would take you out, you go out to like some party or something along those lines. And what they usually do, from my experience and when we seeing from outside, not saying that I partaked in any of this, quote unquote, but what they allegedly. So what they would do is they would you would just go to a party and you would be hanging out with basically a lot of the freshmen that are there. So you're a senior in high school, so freshman, sophomore, and upperclassmen, collegiate people.
Now, okay, so what you're saying is that they'll have pretty much a patsy, right, or either another teammate or maybe somebody like a booster or something.
Not a booster. No, it was never a booster because that's illegal. It's usually like a potential teammate. They will send you around. So like a potential teammate will show you around, kind of take you under your wing, and you'll go out to a party and you'll have a good time and leave like that.
But all right, so the girls. So you're going back to the dorm, whatever. I can't say all that, but all I will say is that you would typically hang out with college students. That's all it would be. It would be college students, and if that's the case, that's fine. College, let's elaborate on that word. College students, like Twitch streamers, in real life.
No. College, actual
not
college
the ones with personality.
No. Actual college students, because like I do remember, and like I can speak about this from my experience. That's why I hated talking about like sports that I did at the university when I first came in. I just wanted people to get to know me, who I am. Unfortunately, and this is what happens in all colleges. And when you're not from the particular state, they're gonna call you by the city.
That's what I want to know, Flock. Was there any entertainment that they like said, "Oh, come over here, you're gonna love this party," like an after party, quote unquote? They didn't have any of that.
They had after parties, but it was typically girls that went there. That's all I can say.
Okay, so I'm just saying. I mean, you live it. You don't have to throw university into the bus.
I'm not throwing my university into the bus.
But I would imagine that's how they do it, right? The coaches do the dinner and all that stuff, and then they'll tell you, okay, here's the guy here, and then they'll try to influence you, right, by saying, oh, hey, by the way, if you need
from
this,
2000,
this or this,
I will put on record and saying from 2008 to 2007 when I took my visit, from 2007 to 2012, Syracuse University did not do anything that I would know personally experience. Outside of those years, I cannot talk about, but I can only talk about my experience there. So I just wanted to put that out there. But that was literally. All right,
I'm gonna go call ESPN right now and tell them
I bet. That's just how it is. Like life as a student athlete and everything like that. You're already gonna get the attention, and that was my biggest problem with this whole thing with Louisville and other colleges that possibly do this allegedly, about when they bring in outside people from the university and just try to hey, come through. Let's just be real. There's gonna be chicks, when it comes to a men's perspective and women's perspectives, they're going to be guys. They're going to look at you differently because when they find out that you're an athlete, that's right, little baby, Siggy's baby, you're right. You already know when you go to college, you going to know. So they're going to look at you differently because you're a student athlete. So you're already going to have that quote unquote clout already. So there's no need for you to bring outside sources to be able to edge somebody to be like, hey, you come through, she'll take care of you if you sign on the dotted line and say you'll go to this university.
No, I don't think they'll do it like that. I just think they'll just do it. Hey, by the way, we're having a party right now. Come over. And they know that party was set up for you.
And that's the problem. That's what happened. And that's what happened over with Louisville. And now they wrote a book about it. They talked about it, and everything. And it's ridiculous. And that's dumb. And that's why they're getting wrapped up and things. And it sucks because that program is gonna suffer because Louisville, when they were in the Big East Conference, Louisville.
Oh, everybody's already bouncing now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Louisville is usually a good powerhouse when it comes to basketball, and a lot of their top recruits are rescinding their commitments, their verbal and their written, because of what's going on with the head coach, what's going on with the scandal and everything. But the thing is that I think is actually kind of funny is the fact is
it's because they don't have the girls no more.
Not even that. It's the fact is they didn't pull away from this before because they knew the scandal was going on. This has gone on for a year already, but it wasn't until the head coach Rick Pitino actually got put on administrative leave that people started pulling out of their scholarships. So it's gonna change. The NCAA is already enough heat as it is. Like college football is full of BS, hence Reggie Bush and so on. So I mean, we're gonna see. I mean, JG, you got any further thoughts about this, man? I'm sure what was your college team, Mizzou? I'm sure some of them players at Mizzou, got it in, when they were there for their.
I ain't know about them dudes. I didn't really care. I ain't see any of that. Like we all knew each other, but I ain't know half the people that were on the sports teams for real.
Right.
So I can't even speak on it. I don't know what's going on, but again, it's not surprising to me. It's not surprising that any of these schools still resort to taxes. I mean, like SMU, like just think about like how SMU was, and then like they literally got everything stripped from their football and basketball programs. Louisville's been in the crap for a while now, so again, like for them being the first school that gets hit like so heavily, and you have such a person who's held up to such high regard as Rick Pitino, like constantly getting out of this mess, and then it finally hit him so hard that he could not get out of it anymore. Like I said, it just doesn't surprise me that people be doing it, and that they're still doing it. They're going from, which is like this still has been going on. It was like girls and gifts and money, but then it was like, oh well, we can't give them money anymore. All right, well we just give them gifts. Oh, we can't give them gifts anymore. All right, well we'll just throw a whole bunch of women at them. They don't even have to be college students. They could be hookers, because that's what happened in Louisville. They ended up hiring professional hookers.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
To get what to do. So
yeah, like, I can't speak for that for me. So
this guy, man, you ain't gotta say nothing else. You ain't gotta say nothing. But it's just crazy, man, what they be doing to get these dudes to sign on that line.
It shouldn't be like that either, because I mean, there's anything that corrupts them and it makes things worse for them when they actually go to the university. And what's to say, they do end up making it big and they do go into the NBA and everything like that. Now there has to be an NCAA has to investigate all certain players from like a certain year and everything like that. And if that follows them into the NBA, there could be sanctions and there could be fines and violations to that as well. So
what's funny, man?
A lot of people aren't thinking about that.
This is crazy that like the organizations still resort to these tactics to get these high recruits in the nation. I wish that, the HBCUs that, don't get into any scandals or anything like that and try to legit, recruit you and don't do anything, don't bribe you, don't do anything else. I wish that they can get some of this talent. But I mean, things like this, and just add to the fact that generally if you don't go to a D1 school, you're not going to get noticed as much as going to a D2 or D3 school.
Yep. That's what happens. That's it right there.
That's it.
Besides that, like it's just two of these big factors that they play into, these HBCUs and other schools not getting these high recruits. So it's crazy, man, like how dirty these organizations still are in 2017, because that stuff was happening since like the 60s, 70s, 80s, like with these colleges. And then
it does look like that there's a shift, because who would have ever thought, these last few years, the last decade even, Butler would become a powerhouse, or Wichita, the Shockers. I mean, Wichita State. Nobody would have thought those teams.
But it's because of recruiting, though. It's really what it is. It's starting to become recruiting, social media. All of that is playing a huge role into where these kids are going to when it comes to these schools now. Like social media is, I would say, is a forefront for a lot of these recruiting. Like, I mean, they have like accounts where they tweet out like certain prospects from all over the world, and it brings people together, and it also puts people on to other universities too. Because I mean, coming from a high school's perspective, in my mindset, it was, I'm looking out for what's best interest for me academically, but also where it can put me in the best position when it comes to athletics as well. And typically, yes, it has to do with a lot of the D1 schools are a little bit more, give you more incentive when it comes to if you want to hone your craft at universities or whatnot. But I commend the players and students that decide, you say, what, I need to prep for myself for college. Let me go to like a junior college or something like that. Let me get some more experience under my belt as an athlete, and then let me transfer to a bigger school after that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I think it's a great route if you don't know exactly where you want to go, especially if you're not going to get PT or like nothing like that at these other colleges, at these big name colleges. Instead of, a lot of people at first were going to these big name colleges because of the clout, because of the atmosphere. But now they want play. They want to actually play.
They want the stats.
They want the stats and they're figuring out it doesn't always matter about what school you go to. It's about, that does have some type of role, but it also is about what the numbers look like you putting out. How are you doing against your peers and whatnot? And that's what it's coming down to. I mean, my God, like Carson Wentz, he didn't go to a big name school, and he is the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, it goes long ways. Like these NFL teams are recruiting guys from smaller schools. It's not always the bigger schools. Like it's not, but it is what it is. I mean, it's a good atmosphere. We'll see where it goes. Bring back NCAA football. I'm just saying, I missed that game a lot. It's definitely dope.
Ooh, speaking of that, I hear one of the teams I liked to go to the end, Oklahoma State, got beat by TCU, my team. So, man.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say TCU. TCU's always been a good team. That's a good university, especially that that's where LaDainian Tomlinson went to. NFL, Hall of Fame running back. For the Chargers.
I know. No, he was. You mean for the Jets when?
Who did he retire as? He retired as a Charger. He didn't retire as a Jet. But I will say this though, since you want to bring up the goddamn Jets, I will say this though, with LT, I thought it was really cool when he did retire, and he had like his Hall of Fame like plaque in like his little area for where all his stuff is. He did have some stuff over for the Jets too, so that was pretty cool. But let's talk about the NFL scores real quick, and then we can go ahead and end this. I just want to say this for right now. Fuck the Chargers. They are giving me a heart attack. This BS that we are 0-3, and if we go 0-4, I don't know what we're going to do. Fuck the Jets. They got to win over, even though they got to win over Miami.
Who beat the Chargers?
Oh my God,
who embarrassed the Chargers at that, right?
it's all bad. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. It's all bad. I currently have a bet with the homie and one of the GI members, leader of the flock, that the Chargers are going to have a better record than the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens, they got blew the fuck out recently. It was pretty bad on them.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking too.
It doesn't look too good. I might be giving Flock $10, and I'm a man of my word, but Fuck the Ravens.
I don't know. They got spanked though. You still got a chance.
Yeah, I got a chance because they got. Boy, what was the score of that game? Let me look up just
like 44-7. 44-7.
Jesus, that was bad. And you know what? One game that I was really shocked about, and I actually thought that they were gonna beat them. The Raiders and the Redskins. I really thought the Raiders were gonna beat the Redskins, and the Redskins showed up.
Yeah, I thought the Raiders were gonna destroy him and messed up my my DraftKings, man. I lost money on that game.
Man, I got a pool at work too with a bunch of people, and I expected them to win. Another game that I was actually very surprised about, but I have to commend them. The Buffalo Bills ended up beating the Denver Broncos 26-16. I didn't expect that. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I didn't expect it, but the Broncos they're like the Vikings. They have a great defense at home, and in fact, Seattle's like that too. Their defense at home is awesome, but then outside, they could be beat. Both those teams look great at home, and then outside they look average at best. Look at the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's true. And let's talk about the Patriots. The Patriots ended up barely beating the Houston Texans by 3 points.
Brady, man, you give him time on the clock, he'll score. It don't matter if it's 30 seconds.
Touchdowns.
Anything under 30 seconds, bro.
Touchdowns. Jeez, that's crazy. And also,
that as soon as I saw the time, I was like, oh yeah, Patriots won. It wasn't even I didn't even blink an eye. Like, my team, I would be like, oh man, we need this.
Right.
You know already. It's like, oh, he's gonna get this. Don't worry. Turn the TV off.
Man, 2 minutes. That's too much time.
Yeah, but another game, a 61-yard field goal from the Philadelphia Eagles to beat the Giants and to make the Giants not the number 2 team, a football team in New York, is above the Jets, below the Jets is weird. So the Eagles win 27-24. 61-yard field goal. That's
impressive. That's awesome.
That's real impressive. But the thing
it's funny because the field goals, they used to be, easy a few years ago, and now for some reason, now that they moved it back, all of a sudden they're not as accurate. So they hit 6, yeah. But now 61 yards, man.
Yeah.
At any point of the NFL, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, I was like, wow. Like, I was actually really shocked. But that was a good game. There was a few good games, a lot of close games. I mean, the only games that was like blown, blew out of proportion. Them niggas weren't winning. Was the Baltimore Ravens, Flock's team. But speaking of close games, let's talk about the LA Rams, or LAR, versus the 49ers.
Are you not entertained?
JG,
are you not entertained?
Can we talk about the fact that your team almost blew that game?
Oh man, yeah, it was ridiculous. Rams, they can't stop ramming, so that's when things happen, like blown punts, freaking fumbling the ball in the last play of the game. Like, it was ridiculous. But with all that being said, I am very, very happy that we are an offensive team again. I love that we are an offensive powerhouse. That defense definitely got exposed, because we shouldn't have been battling with freaking San Francisco.
Another team. We're at home. That defense is awesome. It's funny how it's night and day on some of these teams.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Watch. You get LA at home, the Rams, they're going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, we ended up singing out with that one, but we 2-1, baby. So, and then the game with the Redskins, like, they could have went either way. It was only 20-27, so we could actually won that game too. But so far so good with my Rams. Again, it was a little bit sketchy besides the Colts game, because that was a no contest with them. They had to put in Brissett because we were destroying old boy. I forgot it.
Now he did good against the Browns though.
Oh yeah, Brissett was good, but he came in too late.
Yeah.
Right. Already had the game in the bag. But like I said, it ended up being a very, very entertaining Thursday night game, and a lot of people weren't expecting that, because pretty much every time we're on primetime TV, it's a low-scoring game. Like, don't put us in the Seahawks on the on Monday, Sunday, or Thursday night game, because it's gonna be like 6-9.
Right, it is ridiculous. So
it's just a defensive game. We can't do anything against each other because we know their team. So
Speaking of a team that looks bad, what's up with the Panthers?
Man, I got Cam Newton too. He's my quarterback. I have him and Russell. And damn, man, what is going on with Superman? Man, what's going on with Cam Newton? Like,
I think he's still not fully 100% yet.
I don't think he's 100%.
He hasn't been the same since he gave up on the dab.
Yeah, no, he hasn't been the same since the Super Bowl. Like, he hasn't been the same. He just has not been the same at all, and I'm shocked. But let's see, matchups for next week or for this week. You got Thursday, so you got the Bears and the Packers. JG, who you got? Packers, yeah. I feel like the Packers gonna edge this one out. The Packers were in a close game last week too.
Yeah, they have no weapons though. The Bears don't have any weapons. They only have Cohen, which is nice. Like that's a nice.
And
rookie.
Howard is also good too.
Right, exactly.
Howard ended up getting that very very nice run to seal the game, but I still don't believe in him against that Packers defense. I don't believe him. I think that the Packers are gonna light it up. As long as Ty Montgomery is fine, which he was having a little bit of problems. But as long as he's fine, I know that they don't have Randall Cobb, but I think the Packers are still end up edging it out, even though that's a good rivalry. But I think
I think it'll be closer than people think. But yeah, the Packers should win.
They just gotta get it together because they won in overtime, and Aaron Rodgers had his moment. I thought the Bengals were gonna win that too. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. They blew that. They could have won.
Well, Tony Romo called it. Tony Romo called it, and it was it's funny how good he's been in the booth.
He's been calling
it. Yeah. He goes. Cincinnati looked good because they only have 20, defensive plays against Rodgers. But now after that, watch, Rodgers is going to come back. And sure enough, like he knew exactly. They had nothing else. They already knew everything. Aaron Rodgers picked everything up defensively, and Cincinnati couldn't stop him at all.
Right. So I got the Packers winning over the Bears too for the Thursday night game. Then let's see, we got the Saints and the Dolphins. I'm pretty sure the Saints are gonna win that. What do you guys think?
I think it's gonna be a shootout.
You think it's gonna be a shootout?
I think it'll be a shootout. Also,
not a shootout with
right.
Yeah, I mean the Saints defense is that bad. That's what makes it so shocking how bad the Panthers looked.
Yeah, that's bad. And speaking of the Panthers, they got the Patriots. They're not winning that. And if they do, it'll be the upset of the week.
I'm Patriots to get a whole bunch of yards, but I look for the Patriots to win.
Right.
Yeah, I'm hoping McCaffrey gets a lot because I have him on pretty much all my lineups for.
Me too, buddy.
so I need the yards. I'm pretty sure he's going to catch a lot. But
right.
Yeah, the Patriots. Tom Brady's going to get another 5 touchdowns on the team.
Oh my god, I know, right? You got the Jaguars and the Jets, and then the Jets can be humbled again because the Jaguars are going to run all over them. Fournette's going to have a few touchdowns.
Are the Jets at home?
No, yeah, they're at home. I still think
exactly.
I still think they're going to lose.
Jets are going to beat them. No, Jets are going to beat them. I'm telling you, that defense is awesome at home. Look how good the Miami offense looked against your Chargers, and then they shut them out. They got garbage TD at the end.
Right. I mean, we'll see. I'm still taking the Jaguars. You, JG?
I think that was a fluke with the Jaguars last week because it's in London. Like that's like home for them. They love London. They go there every year. So I knew that the Jaguars were going to do something because I think they won last year against the Dolphins. So I don't think that they're going to win again though when they come back to the States. I think the Jets probably going to edge it out.
All right, we'll see. Any other games you guys want to talk about for that's coming up upcoming week? I mean, Eagles and Chargers. Please, for the love of God, the Eagles.
You didn't talk about the Cowboys.
I mean, the Cowboys. Ooh, the Cowboys and the Rams. I mean, Cowboys going to beat the Rams. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys turned the corner. I think now they figured out their offense.
Yeah, they're going to turn the corner, and the Rams are going to get humbled. I think it's going to be a good game. It's not going to be a blowout or anything like that because, like JG said, and
I do think Gurley's going to do good in that game too.
Yeah,
again, fantasy-wise.
The Rams have an offense, and they are a dangerous offensive team. But we're going to see how the defense is going to be. Let's see.
Yeah, I was mad because I called that the majority of our offense was going to go to Gurley, and I was right. And I was facing a person who had Gurley on the other side, and he scored like 37 points. So I was highly upset.
Right.
I wanted Cooper Kupp to get some touchdowns or something. Robert Woods did great, and Sammy Watkins did great, but he's questionable once again. And this was I was not hoping for, but I'm not surprised that he's having leg issues once again. So again, I'm looking for Cooper Kupp to finally take the reins and end up getting a whole bunch of receptions if Sammy Watkins does end up being out. But Ty Gurley, I think that it's pretty much coming down to the same thing because I feel like the same thing is happening with Ezekiel Elliott now, minus him being in scandals and stuff. I feel like defenses are figuring out Ezekiel like they figured out Ty Gurley the second season. They're like, all right, you're not going to do that against us. And now that it's Ty Gurley's third year, now he's getting a little bit more leeway, and he's catching the ball a lot more too.
Well, especially since now Goff is being entrusted to throw more. That's what's going to happen too. They needed to figure out the balance with the Cowboys with Dak Prescott. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So good. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, obviously with my bias, I think that the Rams are going to win, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good game. One game is gonna be a pretty good game. It's gonna be the Raiders and the Broncos. That's gonna be a pretty good game. It's really hard for me, but I think that the Raiders are gonna turn it around. I mean, I think the Raiders are gonna turn it around from what they did from previous week. I think they're gonna turn it around, and it's gonna be a close game against the Broncos. They're gonna edge it out.
Nope, I'm telling you, that Broncos defense in Denver. There's no way Derek Carr's gonna do anything. If Derek Carr can do anything against Washington, they're not gonna do anything against the Broncos.
The Broncos are at home too. Yeah, Derek Carr might be stuck in some sand again, boy. He might be. Yeah, it might be bad for him. We'll see.
Actually, you know what? I know we already talked about all the stuff in the first part, but we gotta talk about what happened at Derek Carr. You remember Any Given Sunday, right?
Yeah.
You remember whenever what's his face, Willie Steamer Beeman was talking shit about the offensive line or the defense or whatever, so the team
let him get fucked up.
Let him get fucked up. You think that's what happened to Carr? Because did you see that the whole team kneeled, but he was the only one that stood up?
No, I think it was just miscommunication.
I don't know, man. I as soon as I saw it, I was like, Any Given Sunday. It looked just like the very first play. I think he got sacked. I mean, it was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I thought that was pretty interesting when I saw that.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean,
but nobody talked about it, so that's why I was wondering if I just didn't catch it maybe in Oakland, maybe they talked about it a lot more, but I don't know.
Right. Well, that's crazy. I mean, we'll see. There's a lot of good matchups and everything like that from the NFL. But you guys have any other ending remarks? Any sports news? Anything else you want to talk about before we end the podcast?
Nah, man, I'm just ready for this NBA season to start. Get back into fantasy basketball. Get ready for this because that's honestly my favorite. Fantasy football is cool, but I get stressed too much because I actually have a team that I sincerely care about. But fantasy basketball is a different story. I'm coming for y'all this year.
Right, and speaking of fantasy basketball, just to let you guys know in the chat and also you guys watching the video portion of it on YouTube, we will be having some type of fantasy basketball league with our Patreon backers. So if you guys are not already on the Patreon, be sure to check out patreon.com/GIupdates. We have some pretty awesome tiers, but we will be setting up something, and if you are going to play, you need to make sure that you are playing and that you're not just going to sit there, basically waste personnel and everything like that, or people that we could be using on our teams. But we'll figure something out for that, and we'll give you guys some more information once we have all the information, and we can go from there. It'll be something kind of fun, interact with like the Patreon backers and the followers and subs and all that. It'd be something pretty dope. So we'll definitely let you guys out and know. So for you guys in the Twitch chat, thank you guys.
Final thoughts? You gonna do final thoughts?
I was doing shout out first, but go ahead. What's your final thoughts, Siggy?
Congratulations to Aaron Judge for getting the home run rookie record.
I know you were gonna say that.
Since, and the funny thing is, ever since JG talked shit about him in the DMs, he tore it up.
I did it.
So thank you, JG, for motivating him.
That man be going on a tear, boy. But nah, he was actually, not feeling right. I was like, yo, what's up with this slump, yo? I told you he literally he blew his arms out in the home run derby. He wanted to show out, and he was having issues, but he didn't tell anybody, and that's why he went hitting no home runs. But now he good. Now
he's good. Yeah.
Right. Now he's good. I mean, he broke. It was Mark McGwire. It had the previous record, correct?
Yep. He had 49, and Judge got 50.
Yep.
Great Mark McGwire.
All right. Asterisk.
Without steroids.
Asterisk.
Yeah, without steroids. Yeah, because he was on my team too. So with the steroids allegedly.
Right. And with that being said, I do appreciate everybody for coming through. You guys that are in the Twitch chat, other than TBH from trolling in the Twitch chat, I really do appreciate you guys coming through. We'll do some more live Triple Threat Sports podcasts here on the Twitch channel, so definitely be sure to hit that follow button and everything like that, so you can be notified anytime we do live streams. But to everybody else listening on YouTube, shout out to you guys. Keep up the engagement down in the comment section. Really do appreciate it. This is Ace of All Trades with Siggy Guns and UTXJG to Don. Appreciate you guys coming through for another Triple Threat. Thank you guys so much. We are out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.